Well, welcome to the fourth quarter update for 2016. Very interesting final quarter. We had an election. I don't think anyone saw the outcome. Some people claim they did, but I didn't. I was very surprised when Donald Trump was elected. Personally, I think the man's very hard to listen to, but I think what he's going to do is going to be very good for all of us. We'll have to see. Only time will tell. Very contentious election. Trying to invest during that period of time, very difficult to do, but I think we did really well. In fact, this was probably one of the best years I've had for outperformance against markets, and I credit that to a lot of technology and software that I bought this past year that really helped me to see things a little differently. But since the contentious election, the markets went up as I anticipated. I sent an email out to you the night of the election explaining my actions that I was going to be buying in because I felt like with the way that the markets had dropped in the futures market while the election was going on, that this was going to be a great opportunity, a buying opportunity, and it turned out to be that way. The market went up about 6% just in that last 7 weeks that we ended the year. And that's compared to about a 3 to 4% growth rate during the rest of the year. So market more than doubled its performance just in that 7 week period. Pretty amazing. Other things that took place during the quarter that were of interest were OPEC finally came to an agreement to cut output. Now the question is, who's going to cheat and who's going to adhere to it? My concern is that as oil hits the mid-50s, it becomes very profitable for the frackers. So the frackers are just going to put more product on the market. They're going to pump more oil. And as a result of that, we're probably going to see oil have a little bit of a headwind in trying to gain some value. However, I think it's high enough where the companies that all took such a beating are going to be able to make a little money, and so they're going to do better. So I'm expecting energy to be a pretty decent place to invest over the next year. The fact that the Fed raised interest rates is another thing that happened during the quarter that I found to be very interesting. The Fed, you never know what they're going to do, but this one was pretty much broadcast. All the Fed did was act like they were going to not do anything the whole year. If they had mentioned earlier in the year, well, we think at the December meeting. Well, guess what? At the December meeting, they raised rates. Personally, I think that they're warranted in doing it and way overdue. Fact of the matter is that we're seeing some wage inflation, which is the first thing that I see when I'm looking to decide whether or not we're going to get any inflation. And that's the first place. And we're seeing wage inflation. In fact, all the metrics are looking really good. You hear about unemployment being so low. Well, that's because there's a lot of low-paying part-time jobs that people are taking. That had been the case for the last 6, 7, 8 years, but now we're starting to see a little wage inflation. That means that the economy has a chance to actually start growing. And with the fact that Trump is coming in and doing the one thing that I think is the most important, which is tax reform, getting rid of Obamacare, those are things that are just horrible. Our economy has just been stagnated by our tax code. And the fact that our tax code is getting changed is, just a green light to me. I think we're going to have a fantastic run of the economy, which means that I think investments will do well. There will be some volatility. We'll get corrections along the way. And if Trump keeps tweeting, that's going to cause volatility in the markets, and individual companies are going to be the targets of that. So we're going to have to be very cautious and careful of it. So going into this new year, I'm optimistic. I think that 2017 will turn out to be a decent year. I'm going to invest that way. So I hope that you had a wonderful, happy new year, and that 2017 brings all your dreams to come true. I'll see you again at the end of this first quarter, and we'll catch you up then.